Hi, and welcome to another episode of 8-Bit Retro Refix. Today's episode, we're going to be looking at Alan's Commodore 64 that he's sent in. It's a little bit of an unboxing, so I'm going to pull it out of this box now, and we're going to take it over to the station where I can test the 64 and see what it's doing. I think Alan said he'd actually put a note inside here to explain what were what, and even supplied the video cable that he was trying to use it with. So we're just going to do that now. So it looks like the camera cut out. So everything seems okay, doesn't seem damaged in any way, which is quite good. It's been packaged well as that, Alan. There's video cables here. So here we are, we're down to the bare bones. I can't seem to find any letter. Okay, so there's nothing in there. So I best just take it over to the station where I play on the Commodore games, and we'll plug her in and we'll see what it's like over there and see what it's doing. Okay, so here we are. What I'm going to do, we've got the monitor switched on there. I'll just flick the switch and it comes up with a black screen. So what I'm going to do is take it over back to the bench, take the screws out and see if there's anything inside that's visible for a repair. I'm going to swap a few bits out and see whether it works. Okay, so I'll see you back over there. Okay, so we're back over at the workbench. So what I'm going to do now is just pop the screws out of the bottom and we'll just have to take a quick look how it's going on inside the unit. So to set this top off, wait for these 3 screws. I just undo them like that. Don't take the screws out of the hole yet. So they're out, and then I just turn that over. Lift the front up a little bit and the screws should drop out on the mat. And there they are, look. So we've got the 3 screws out. Just put them up there in that little point over there. And we'll lift the front up. Disconnect the keyboard connector. Disconnect the power light. And we'll just lift the little case away. So what have we got in here? We've got the SID that's socketed, the PLA socketed, the CPU socketed, the kernel ROM socketed, and both of the CIA chips are both socketed as well. We're also looking at the date codes on there. It looks like 27th week 83, 83, 83, 83, 83. So I would have said that's pretty much got to be roughly around about an 83 board, and it's down there, look. 83, assembly number 407, 205407. Revision B. So I'm just going to pop off the video chip lid. Let's have a quick look inside there. Not easy, just pry it up a little bit, give it a little wiggle, and it should come off like that. So we've got an old style VIC chip in there. Ceramic VIC chip, I like them, look really nice. I hope it's not down to the VIC that's broken. Just clearing that paste off the top of the chip. (6569R1). It's a revision 1 ceramic chip. These make the screen a little bit softer, the colours are a bit softer, they're not as sharp as the later models. But they are a really nice chip. I do like these. So what do we know about black screens? So from the previous video, watching me repair the Commodore 64s, we know that the kernel ROM can give a black screen. We know that the CIAs can, the PLA can, the SID can, and we also know that the RAM chips down the bottom here, they can also give a black screen as well. Video chip could quite possibly do that, but you would have some kind of interaction from it. You get something on screen with the video chips, which are normal, and they go down. So right, we've popped the lid off. We've had a quick look to see if we can see anything visible in there. Doesn't seem to be anything untoward. So I'm just going to take it back over to there where we were trying it earlier. Put some power back into the unit. Do a quick test on the voltage regulators to see what we're getting out of here. Should be getting 5 volt out of here and 12 volt out of here. We can do a test on the pins with the VIC for the power on the legs to see whether we're getting power across the board. If all that power's there, my first step's going to be is to swap out that PLA and see if we get any difference on there. Okay, so I'm just going to take it back over there now and I'll see you back there. Right, so we're back over here now. I've plugged it back in. Just going to put the dead test cartridge in and see if we get anything from it. This cartridge takes a little while to come round, if it comes round at all. Normally we'll get flashing screen or something like that if it were trying to send us a code, or it would normally remain black and then go into the mode where it's doing the tests. But I think that's taking far too long. Right, so what we're going to do first is just have a quick look round, make sure that all the voltages are there. So you can see, I've got the voltage meter there. I'm going to flick the power on. I'm just going to take an earth from main base plate. I'm going to go to the right side of the voltage regulator. That should give us a nice clean 5 volts, and it does. I'll go to the right leg. Go to the right leg of this other voltage regulator, and that's giving us a nice 11.84 volts. 5 volts down there. Just have a quick pin down this SID chip and we'll have a look. So we've got 12 volts coming up to the SID chip. That video chip's getting awfully warm really quickly. 5 volts up there. 5 volts up there. So it looks like the voltages are there. So what I'm going to do first is swap out the PLA and we'll see if that makes a difference. So as I pointed out a little bit earlier on, PLA chip is U17 that's up here. I'm just going to pop that chip out, pop that there. I'm going to pull the SID out. I don't like playing around with these systems when the SID's in really. They are delicate. So we'll keep the SID out to one side. So we've got the PLA now. Just going to push the PLA into the socket. We'll just see if that works, makes a difference. Let's flip the screen on. Nothing. We'll just take the dead cartridge out in a minute. Well, what do you know? One PLA chip. Sorry, it's a bit bright on the screen there. Let me try and adjust that brightness when I find it. That better? What do you know? One PLA chip. So I've gone in straight away, picked on the PLA, and boom, we've got a screen. Straight back up. The video camera will tune in properly. Come on, there we go. So that's good stuff. You can see the cursor flashing away there. We seem to be all okay. So I'm just going to flick that off at the moment. I'm just going to take the SID chip and put the SID back in. It's easy to pop these chips back in. If you just make sure the resistor isn't wear, just move them out of the way. It doesn't hurt. You know, as long as they're not getting wiggled around permanently all the time. So I'm going to put the SID chip back in. I don't know if you can see on camera or not. Can you see how it's slanted? Well, I'll make sure the legs are down on one side at this side here, in the chip. I'll push the chip slightly that way, and then I'll push it down. That should put the chip back into the base unit. So I'm going to grab the keyboard and just plug that back in on top. Let's put the dead test cartridge in now. And we'll just run a dead test. Oh, look at that. Apparently, we've got an error. That's telling me that 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. How bizarre. So just take the dead test out again for a minute. And flick the switch. And we've got a black screen. So what have we done? All we've done is put the SID chip back in. So all I'm going to do is lift that SID chip back out. Put that down on the side. And flick the switch again. And we're back up and running. So it looks like we've got a dead PLA and we've got a dead SID chip. So what I'm going to do for the minute, I'm just going to take this spare SID that I have. I'm going to pop this spare SID back in here. And plug it down. And I'm going to flick this switch. And hopefully the screen should come back on. Yeah, it has a look. So we now know that the PLA were dead. And the SID chip were dead. So just to double check that, what I'm going to do is switch it off again. We're going to lift the PLA back out. Do it gently and it just pops straight back up. That's it. Pop that back out. That's a dead SID. That's the PLA, original PLA that we had in there. Put that PLA back in. And flick the power. So, as conclusion now. Conclusion, we've put his original PLA back in and we've still got the bad SID chip. So what I'm going to do now, just to be 100%, I'm going to tilt that back down there for you so you can see. I'm going to pop out the SID chip again and put the old one back in. Because it could have just been mucky contacts on the leg. That's come back in. We're flicking the switch. We'll lift you back up. We have black screen. We'll just take that SID back out again. Switch it off. Pull that out. Put our SID back in. So what I've done is I've just taken out the SID that I put in it that allowed it to boot because it started crackling once it started getting warm. So I didn't particularly like that. So I think this SID chip might be faulty anyway. But it did make a difference to it, as you could see on the video film. So as soon as I put the original chip back in, it just does not want to boot at all. So the SID chips are known for giving the black screen. Not very often, but they do cause it, as you've seen in this video. So I do think this other chip that I'm using at the moment is one that I pulled from an old board. It must be dying off now. The builder one on this one looks like 33rd week 84. 33rd week 84. No, I'm not overconfident with that one. It just started crackling once it started getting a bit warm. So I've just taken that chip back out again. It's going through all the processes. We've got a bit of a silent bit now because it's going through the SID tones. Obviously you're not going to hear that now. So what I'm going to do is just knock the video off for the minute. I'm going to put another non-working SID in there. And then I'm going to swap back and put my other dead test cartridge in there with the full complete harness, and we'll see what that reports back on. Okay, so I'll see you back in a few moments. Okay, so what I've done is I've pulled another SID chip that I had in my stock. I've just popped that one back in. It's the same year actually, it's 83, which is quite good for the machine to try and keep it in character. I've got the user port connected up, tape port connected up, I've got the serial port for the drive blanked off, I've got the keyboard connector to blank off there, and the two test cables that come over here into the joystick ports for the harness. So that's now going to do a full complete test to make sure and see if there's anything else over and above what we've already found. But at the moment it's just looking like a SID chip. So I'm just going to pan you back up to the screen, and then we'll switch this on and we'll see what it does. So I've gone through 0 page, stack page is okay, screen RAM's come up okay, RAM test 1 good. Should be dropping down to the next one in a minute. RAM test 2 is good, it's just checking through the colour RAM. Not far off done now. Ooh, user port bad, U2. So it looks like we've got a couple of CIA chips bad. Look at that, it just popped up with both U1 and U2. So the SID's singing away there. So what I'm just going to do, just for a second, I won't pan you back down with the camera. All I'm going to do is lift them two chips and put them back down, and we'll run it again. I pulled that one out. Oh. Pull that one out. They're identical chips, so I'm going to put the right one into the left. I'm going to put the left one into the right, obviously. Just so it's different legs, and they go. So that all looks like good, and it's in again, and we'll flick the switch again. So it's come up with U2 bad this time, so that looks like a good point. So I'm just going to pull them chips out again, put some contact cleaner into there, but potentially we could have a 6526 CIA chip at U2 that's bad. That was the first one that come up, I think, which was the user port. Doesn't affect too much on the user port, but it could affect on with the loading, etc. and things like that. So I'm just going to switch it off again. I'm going to pull U2, and I'm going to spray some contact cleaner down there and see if that makes a difference. Another thing it could be a bad socket. Sorry if it makes a noise. We'll try the dead test again. Not the dead test, so I apologise, the diagnostic software. So all I've done is just lifted that CIA chip, sprayed some contact cleaner into the socket and put the CIA back in. And we'll see if that U2 comes up bad again. Still come up with U2 bad. I'm just going to have a look and see if I've got another U2, 6526 U2 CIA chip, and we'll just swap that out and see if it makes a difference. So as you can see, this is U2, a 6526 chip. This is the one that I've taken from it. I've just swapped it out with another chip that I have. I'm just going to pan back up to the screen and we'll have a look and see whether that made a difference. It passes colour RAM. There we go. User port still bad. I wonder if that's just a connection on the connector. Let's try disconnecting the harness and putting the harness back on. It could be just dirty on that connection. And give it a quick dry. All I've done is unplug the harness and put it back in again. I'll just give it another run. So, yeah, I don't suspect that CIA to be faulty. I don't see why it keeps moving from cassette port to user port to U1 to U2. I would suggest that that's just a dirty contact on the user port. So what I'm going to do is off camera now is I'm just going to take this board out, clean up the user ports, and then we'll rerun the test again. I'm going to put his original CIA chip back in before we run that test again. So I'll see you back once I've done that. So yeah, I've just noticed that the tape part was kicked out there when I moved it, so I've just put the tape connector back in, and we'll just see what that does, see if it makes a difference. I don't think it will, but you never know. It won't take long to run through this test, it's only about 30 seconds or something like that, but we'll see. Colour RAM's almost done now, so it should just populate now. Look at that, look. That'll make the difference. So right quick, I'm just going to pull his CIA back out, the one that I changed it for, and I'm going to put his original CIA back in. It's got the original CIA back in. I've taken my replacement back out, and we'll see what that comes up with. Yeah, it's good, look. So conclusion, after we've messed around with a few chips in there, we've cleaned a few sockets, swapped it around a little bit. Yeah, so pretty much the old sound interface device, Mr. Sid, is what's causing the problem. So there you go, Alan. That's your problem, Mr. Sid chip. That'll go into my bucket of chips, and I'll have a chat to you about what the costs are. But what I'm going to do for the moment, sorry the screen's a bit blurry at the moment now. So what I'm going to do now is just take it back over there. I might not actually take it back over there. I'll just leave it where it is for the minute. Disconnect all the unit for the harnesses. I'll take the dead tests out, and I'm going to put the Ultimate 1541 cartridge into it, and we'll have a little test and run some games and run some sounds and see how this SID chip performs in this unit. So I've popped the lid back on. I've got the Ultimate 1541 cartridge from Gideon. That's all I've got plugged in. Cable, power, that's all I've got in now. Click the switch. Got the Ultimate running. Ultimate USB stick. Ultimate folder. Oh, not going that one. Test. New. I'm going to mount that disc. I'm going to install a fast loader. I'm going to use a shortcut to load. And now you're going to see how quick this thing is. So this is Donkey Kong in Adrian's Digital Basement on the YouTuber. And you'll see his hands going like this on the YouTube channel. A brilliant guy. Does a lot of things. Does a lot of repairs, not just on the Commodore's range, on everything, to be fair. Great to watch. So we'll go check the Adrian Digital Basement out. So I'm just going to load this up now, straight from the 1541. And we'll see how quickly that goes through. There we go, we've loaded. It's got decompressing. I'm just going to press the space bar and skip past that part. Doesn't matter about lives. just decompressing and decrunching again as far as I'm aware. Give it a few seconds. There we go. Press the fire button, make it skip past. Is that to flash? It's going to disappear. Nah. So there you go, Alan. You can see it's up and running. I'll give you a call a little bit later on and we'll have a chat about it, getting it returned to you. Okay, thank you for watching another episode of 8-Bit Retro Refix, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye!